Here's a little something that I want to share with you when things don't quite go to plan. Hi, it's Shondell here from Life Puzzle. I trust that you are well and happy wherever you are in the world. I hope that you've had a magnificent week and that this isn't one of the weeks where things didn't go to plan for you. So one of the reasons I wanted to pop in today is that I think a lot of the time when people watch our lives or connect with us, they often see us talking about things going to plan, setting expectations, mapping out plans, following through with plans, taking action and getting the result that you want. And sometimes when I'm coaching someone who might be in the thick of something really not going right, it can be a barrier where people sort of say, well, that's all right for you because you always get everything that you want, or you always make things happen the way that you want. And while I would say that certainly a lot of process that goes into making sure that things go as close to how we planned, it's not accurate that things always go the way that we want. So my little tip for you today is around what do you do when things don't go to plan and what is the impact of that and how do you carry that. So a couple of things I wanted to share, both tactical and mindset and psychology. So I think that the first thing is that often when something doesn't go the way you want it, the song from Cher, if I could turn back time, we often think, what would we do differently? Or sometimes people live in the past and beat themselves up about why things didn't turn out the way they want, spending a lot of time reflecting on what they did wrong and potentially even beating themselves up for decisions made that were incorrect. So I think that is definitely in some ways quite useful from a reflection point of view, but not always useful from the perspective of like, well, you can't go back to the past. If we could turn back time, none of us have a time machine. So what's the benefit in terms of like actually spending a quick minute or having a beat to look at, could I have done differently? This is the mindset piece. When things don't go to plan, or if it turns out the opposite of what you wanted, the focus is usually negative. People spend a lot of time beating themselves instead of reflecting and taking the lesson. Years ago, I attended a seminar and lots of platitudes. When you lose, don't lose the lesson. You're either winning or you're learning. I like the idea of you're either winning or you're learning, because I don't think that it's possible for everybody to win all the time. If you have that expectation, or if you have the belief that there are some people that are luckier than others and always get what they want, you're starting from a scarcity mindset. It's important to do your planning for any project or task and foresee potential obstacles. And so when you've done that and then something still doesn't turn out the way that success leaves clues. And so what I also know is that mistakes, as in like MISS and then takes, so you had a mistake, a mistake also leaves a clue. So if it doesn't go the way that you want, to take a beat to go, what can I learn from this? If I could do this again, you can make in order to make it better for the future. The second thing is that your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagining something with vigor or whether or not it's actually happening. So if the thing that didn't go how you wanted it caused you negative emotions or trauma, learn the lesson as fast as you can. Stop focusing on that, because let's face it, you've already lived the trauma once. At Life Puzzle, we call this jumping over the worry wall. So let's say something happened in the past and that thing that happened in the past didn't turn out how we want it. So now we want to protect ourselves. So we need to think of all the possible catastrophic situations that could unfold, and we keep focusing on those things, hoping that we're not going to do them again. And that focus of trying to guard against the thing that we don't want actually creates an awareness for us that we're looking for that. And so unfortunately, because of your reticular activating system, that's the part of your optic nerve that connects to your brain that actually seeks out in your environment or your scenario everything that you're focusing on. The RAS is looking for all that catastrophic stuff that you're thinking about. So the first thing we want to do is we want to jump over the worry wall by asking ourselves the question, if it turns out the way I want, how would it go? Don't focus on what you don't want to happen. I don't want to make a mistake. Focus on what you don't want, and your brain doesn't process those negatives. So what you're really saying is, I want the brain doesn't process negatives. So you always want to be saying things and planning things the way that you want them. Now, I know that some of you who are like, oh yeah, that's just positive thinking and I'm a very positive person. It's actually about the language that you use. And we had a session yesterday. We do some leadership training, and we had a group mastermind that we were doing, and we were talking about transformational language. You may not realize that the words that you use actually direct your focus and influence the focus of the people around. This is 101 parenting. Focus on what you want, jump the worry wall, get clear on what you want to happen. Next time a scenario that potentially looks like that one or might be the same again, you can incorporate those learnings for what you want to happen and engaging with the people in the way in which you want it. And so ultimately, we know that we're not going to win every single scenario, but there is a saying that they say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. The future hasn't happened yet. So don't let that take your courage away from having another go at something like that in the future, because otherwise you're letting the itty bitty shitty committee win. So remember that every single journey is an opportunity to learn and be 1% better tomorrow than you were today. And even if it's only 1%, remember that those little 1%ers, they compound and they make a much bigger percentage, and they actually create a lot of the things that we really, really, really want to create. So don't let it, or hang on, let me say it the way that I want you to focus. There you go. So remember to fire the itty bitty shitty committee and have the courage to say, okay, that didn't work exactly how I planned. What you could do differently? If I was to do this again at the future, what would I see, hear and feel that would have me know that this turned out the way that I wanted, and how can I focus on that and put those plans into action? Trust that this has been useful. Happy Friday. And until we meet again, it's Shondell from Life Puzzle. Be well and be empowered. Bye for now, team.